Hi, it's Heather Kay. I decided to launch a new channel called Baby Vegan. This is my book. This is my book on notes. I just realized something really important. If anybody ever asked, when did you become vegan? I guess I was a vegan child. I never suffered from any weight loss or weight gain problems. When I thought about it, I didn't have milk in my cereal. I did not have pizza. Didn't want the cheese. I wouldn't even eat spaghetti. Like most of the food I ate was not. I wasn't vegan on purpose. I was vegan just because I was an extremely fussy child. Then when I hit age 16, what happened after that? Sorry, I'm just trying to put more of my top of my head in the camera. What had happened was I was extremely fussy. Then when I turned 16, I started going to my friend's home. I was just so embarrassed because everywhere I went, they couldn't feed me. So because of my embarrassment, I've expanded to eating eggs. I remember one time I decided that all the breakfast was eggs. And instead of just having the toast, which would have had butter on it, right? Or in these cases, there was peanut butter. I had peanut butter and jam sandwiches a lot. You didn't put butter on it, right? So when out of my embarrassment for my fussiness, I had no role models at all. What had happened was I started gaining weight, and my weight gain went out of control, and it took me a long time. I mean, we're talking 3 decades, if not 4, if that's any indication how old I am, to fighting the weight gain that I had. And it took me until I ran into a certified fitness and nutritionist who had some qualifications, who didn't take any of my sass. I'm telling you, I'm crying, I can't work out, I can't eat. There was no pity. And I finally became successful in my weight loss journey. Right now, I struggle with it because I'm a yo-yo. But one of the things I didn't realize is that everything I ever say in any video about being overweight, everybody can relate to what I have to say. So the biggest thing that caused me to be overweight was more surprising than ever. My serving sizes were large, but I come from a big family where we don't eat big food. We always have little plates, have it. If you're still hungry, go back for more. And I completely distorted my natural ability to tell me when I was full. And I learned how to control that. And if anybody ever wants to learn a little bit about that, I'm Heather Kay, the owner and creator of an online support group called Cupcakes Anonymous. I'm thinking about maybe going that way so that people can ask me questions, and you can ask me questions here. But I devoted 100 days. I'm at day 64 of a 100-day weight loss journey. And I've had marginal success. I've been more of a yo-yo, and I need to address that. But the number 2 reason for being unhealthy and being overweight was surprisingly because of chemicals in my food. And I quit drinking pop in 1999, but the chemicals are everywhere in our food. So, like, let's take margarine, for example. Margarine is 1 molecule away from plastic. So I switched my family over to butter. But when you're vegan, butter is, you want to eliminate that. So what my next part of my journey is to experiment, and I could buy it or I can make it. And I've been fascinated with vegan butter. So I'm going to make some vegan butter and introduce that to my family because there are healthier alternatives. And then I'm also studying other cultures who don't struggle with their weight at all. And they don't use butter and oil on their food. They use other methods to make their food tasty. So like I said, when I started out as a child, being extremely fussy, I had no role models. In a sense, what I was eating, I was vegan, but I was an unhealthy vegan. And I couldn't identify because I didn't know what it meant. So when I've gotten older, and I'm going to make another video, I came across my friend Anna, and Anna was vegan. And Anna was raised on wild game. They completely hunted and captured. She didn't even have electricity until she got married. And Anna told me about being vegan. And she was vegan because of religious reasons, because of her husband, which I thought was wrong. You're vegan because you want to be vegan. And so she divorced her husband, and she's still vegan. So I know she really likes being vegan, and she's promises me she's going to make a cookbook on being vegan. So anyway, so this is kind of like the new start to me being vegan. I've been educating myself, and my education is going to continue because there's so much I never even thought about. Like I saw an episode, I started about a year ago, and I watched this guy online, Craig. He's from No Egg Craig. And from there, he mentioned how to be vegan, and he talked about words like bone char. I did not know what bone char was until I watched a video today. So the education on it, it's easy, but it's not, because I want to become familiar with all of the animal byproducts they put in food, and I do want to avoid them. And I decided I'm not going to be this vegan person that is in your face. I'm vegan because I want to be vegan, and if I make a choice that is not vegan related, I do not want to be beat up about it. So I introduced to my family that I wanted to be vegan. And my younger son, Edwell, he tells me, I'm okay with that. He says, but just don't become this vegan nut. And I'm thinking, vegan nut? And I'm thinking, what do you mean? Because, I mean, this is when he was 18. He's now 19. And I guess there might be some vegans at his school. And he says, just don't be jamming that you're vegan down people's throat and forcing them to be vegan. And if we have any pets, which we don't, he says, I don't want our pets to be vegan. And I think, well, we have no pets. It's no big deal. But for him, I do try to cook his foods. And I remember I made a few vegan meals for him. And I said, what do you think about this meal, Eddie? At all? And he says, it's good, but it's different. I said, what do you think that is? And this was when I made veggie pepperoni pizza for him. And he says, that pepperoni, it's different, but it's good. And I said, it's made of vegetables. And he goes, could you hide my vegetables and my meat more often, is what he told me. So I win a few. And then of course, I've had some complete disasters where I made him some vegan cookies. And he got mad. He's like, this cookie tastes like banana. Do me a favor. Nobody wants to eat this stuff. So I've had more success than losses with him. But it's true. It did taste like banana. So I'm trying to find menus and meals that are as closest to what we have. Because I've minded that sometimes it tastes a little different. And that's why I'm always experimenting with different products that allow you to be who you are and know that you're not participating in the slaughter of animals. And I truly believe that we can have a world where we have a plant-based industry. And I'm going to tell you something else. I also watched The Vegan Zombie. And The Vegan Zombie was talking about, I guess, a small business who was bought out by a large chain. And it might have been Walmart, who knows, I can't remember, and I could have kept notes on it, but it's not important. The part that's important to realize for anybody who's vegan, that the vegan industry is about to explode. I'm here to give you good news. For a major chain to be having all the products that they didn't have when we were younger is now becoming a money-making industry. So they're catering to people who are transitioning vegan, and they know there's a real market there, and buying food and cheese and stuff like that, it's going to be available and is available. And there's lots of videos on how to go buy vegan products at the dollar store. There's vegan products in Walmart. There's vegan products in your grocery store. And so that's the kind of direction I want to have, and still maintain a balance with my family and friends. So when we talk about being vegan, it's the meat, the dairy, and the egg industry. It's 98% of the problem. And that we're not going to be worried about wool and fur Our focus is not going to be on the 2%, because right now I do have leather couches. I've had them for 10 years. And this is before I realized that leather products, it's the skin of animals. Like, how could we be so blind? So I'm not going to worry about what I have. And when I have the money to replace it, I will. But for me, the reason why I chose leather products was because the vinyl products I was having weren't durable enough, and they were like falling apart. And so I like the durability of it. I wasn't thinking that, just like a lot of people think about food when it comes from the grocery store, they don't think about where it grew or what animal had to sacrifice its life for that. So what I thought about for me with small children who are now grown adults, I liked the product because I could wipe it down and I could clean it easy, so my mind frame wasn't there. So just because I have it, I do not want to be beaten up for it. I guess there is a word called true ignorance to what you have. And so my eyes are open now. And so I will be making smarter choices. Like, for instance, fur. I have fake fur coats. And I'm going to make a video on it because the fake fur I have doesn't look like real animal fur. I'm not looking at to wear it. I like fake fur. My fake fur coat is actually purple, and the other fake fur coat is actually, it's all, it's brown, but it's curly. It looks like no animal. So, and I don't want to be beaten up for that. As far as wool, I didn't realize that it was unethical, because when I think about wool, I've always taken pride in wool as the products, and I thought the wool industry is absolutely humane. I thought we were providing like a cottage country farm sustainability for an entrepreneurship, because my background is economic development. I thought I was doing good. I did not know that this was something. But again, it's only 2% of the vegan problem out there, the meat industry. I gotten to the point right now where I do not enjoy beef, and I actually have points where people are pushing beef in my face, and I'd rather have seafood. And so, and I know seafood is, you try not to eat anything with any eyeballs in a mother. I have allowed myself seafood during this transition phase till I learned to learn any better, because I went to a nutritionist and I found out that I'm not a good vegan. And so, but then I'm finding out, as far as your B12, you do not have to take a supplement like I thought I had to have. You only go to the doctor sometimes if you have heart issues. You don't, it's like when you talk about their nutrition, you need to see the proper person to get yourself educated. So, which is what I'm doing. As far as the dairy industry, I have been experimenting with milk alternatives. I found one for my coffee, but it contained too much sugar. So me being diabetic, and I'm more like a recovering diabetic because I don't take metformin anymore. I was on insulin twice, and I got myself off insulin, and I got myself off diabetic, high blood pressure, and cholesterol pills. And then all this thinking I need a multivitamin B12. Well, there's things in food that you can have, like potassium. Banana isn't the number one method of having potassium in your food. Avocado is. So I'm learning to find foods with the biggest bang for the buck so that I don't have to take a pill to make myself better. And I will be going for blood work this week, and I will talk to my doctor about my blood work, and then I will take my blood work every 6 months. And I will, even though people don't think it's necessary, I will be monitoring whether or not this is affecting my lifestyle, because I'm not going to quit who I am because of somebody says, oh, well, your protein levels are down, you're iron deficient, or anything like that. I am going to do all that I can not to contribute to wrecking the environment. And I'm going to take steps to eliminate like plastic, for example, by trying to bring your own bags to the grocery store versus plastic. But right now, I do donate my plastic bags to the food bank. But if I can have some material and some maybe volunteers, I'd rather make canvas bags for the people at the food bank and then try to get people to not use plastic bags at all, because I think that's a bigger problem than any well, I can't say it's bigger. I can't even compare it to being vegan. It's a problem. We got to start thinking about our world problems, because you know what? We have the ability and the knowledge to do better. But like I said, what my son says, don't be pushing it down anybody's throat. I'm not. I'm just telling you about my journey and some of the struggles I have and some of the success I have and some of the learning I have. So that's why I decided to call myself Baby Vegan, because I've been going at this for a year now, and I do like the direction I'm going. I still eat eggs, and when you think about it, where they come from, if you truly knew where any of your food comes from, you would stop. So now that I know where eggs come from, it's not from a grocery store, right? And like I said, I have to get around my mind frame about thinking I need to have eggs in my diet and buying them and supporting them. And I'm still going to be buying stuff for my family because, like I said, they can make their own choices. And hopefully when I make food for them, that I make them good, nutritious foods, that my son realizes it's different, but it's good. And that if you want me to cook for you, it's going to be vegan most of the time. So anyways, so I do want to tell you that I am learning how to be vegan. I don't want to be part of any shaming of me because I'm making wrong choices. Just bear with me that I've been learning and I've been studying and I've been really spending every spare moment I have to understanding what some of these terms are. So I'm new. I will make mistakes. Please forgive me in advance. Hey, I'm Heather Kay, your baby vegan. I hope you enjoyed hearing a little bit about where I started off and where I am today. Press like and subscribe and all that wonderful stuff.